is an emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived.
Down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest, the best weekly Stardom podcast anywhere in the world. I'm, as always, Alex, and I am joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. Hi, guys. How's it going? Back at it again. Another week, another episode of Stardom Quest. This time, pretty big episode of Stardom Quest because Yokohama Arena is this weekend. No other reason at all.
Yeah, I don't know if he's doing a bit here or what the story is, because that's the only
No,
reason.
that's the only reason.
Right?
I feel like both of us were kind of like, oh yeah, Stardom had wrestling that we were supposed to watch this past weekend. It's fun.
Yeah, nobody watched it. I don't even think those matches have cage match ratings. There's like that little interest in the show.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
It's like you have to get a certain amount of ratings for the actual like match to get one, and I don't think any of them have got that, which is pretty incredible. Um, but yeah, we are from the Five Star Podcast Network. The Five Star Network is a great network. It is home to us, obviously Stardom Quest. Through the Five Star Network, we were able to release a very detailed two-part beginner's guide to Stardom over the past week. We recorded part one in like late March. We recorded part two last week. And of course, part two is out of date already because there is a whole new faction and faction alignments. So within days, that was out of date. But we put it out anyway. So if you are somehow a newer fan and you're really interested in getting into Stardom, then on Spotify and kind of on the YouTube, the YouTube is uploading it in clips. It's kind of different, but the beginner's guide to Stardom is out there. The Five Star Network is also bringing you great podcasts like Dramatic Dream Dragons, which is a DDT and Dragon Gate podcast. It has Watch Tej, which is a TJPW centric podcast. There's a new podcast starting that's New Japan centric, I believe.
Yeah, it's
And
the High
then
Fly Flow cast. High Fly Flow. Is it just High Fly Flow? I don't know. It's
I'm not
it's
sure.
New Japan podcast that I'm very excited for because obviously I'm a big New Japan guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to be a part of that, but I was like I am too busy.
That is
I
fair.
cannot designate time to that.
That is valid. The podcast network also has Puro Gems, which is a monthly look at the independent scene in Japan, both for men and women. There's wrestle summits. There's a lot of different stuff. There's articles. There's a website, fivestarnetwork.co, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah.
Plug, you're correct. But personal plug, today, the day you guys are hearing this, if you're hearing it, you know, when it comes out, me, Scott, and Xavi are doing a fantasy draft, and it's not just a draft; it is like fantasy football, but with wrestling. So
Mm.
go check that out. It will be 2 p.m. Eastern. That's 8 p.m. in the UK and Ireland, I believe, and that is what is that noon my time? Or am I might be getting these times wrong. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I already.
There's 5
I,
hours between Eastern and
no, I know. I'm
GMT.
pretty okay. Then yeah, I'm getting all these times wrong. Pretend maybe we should just clip that. Hold on. uh, just check it out. Scott has it on Twitter. Check out the 5 Star Twitter. I will be tweeting about it too. Basically, we're going to be drafting rosters, two wrestlers from 6 selected companies, and over the next few months, we will be checking their stats and their wins. So whoever gets the most wins over the next few months wins. It's like a whole fantasy thing. Me and Xavier kind of workshopped it with like the points and shit. So that'll be really fun. Go check that out. I fucked up the times, but go check the Twitter. It'll be up there. I'm pretty sure it's already on YouTube. It'll be live. So just check the 5 Star YouTube. It's already scheduled. So yeah, go check that out when it's up.
Right, that one really knocked you for six. That one, you
No, it was because I already did the math. So it's 2 p.m. my time.
right,
So I
which
don't
is
know.
7.
It's
So
yeah. So
wait. Are
Wait,
you
no, no, no,
in?
no, no, no. I'm not Eastern. I'm Mountain. That's the issue. That's the
Right.
issue is that
Okay.
I'm usually Central. Right now I'm Mountain. Scott is Eastern. So it's like Scott talks to me in Easter time, and I automatically translate it, and then I'm just like, wait a minute,
Okay.
is it 2 p.m. my time or is it? That's not. I'm not even in the right chat. Hold on. He texted me about it. I'm trying to make sure.
You
This is
like this
chaos.
this one thing just completely knocked you sideways. Like just you have completely lost it over this, and
A little
I
bit.
am relishing every moment of it. Like
4
I'm
p.m. Eastern. It is 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m.
right.
my time.
So that's
Okay.
9 o'clock for us Europeans in British Isles and that kind of area. So
I believe so.
yeah.
That is 3 hours from now. Yeah, it's 9 p.m. So
Hmm.
9 p.m. For the Brits and the UK, the Irish, all of them, um, and then it's 2 p.m. my time, 1 p.m. PST, 4 p.m. Eastern. You guys can figure it out. Just come listen. It'll be fun.
All right. Yeah, a fantasy league sounds really cool actually for
I've been
wrestling
wanting to
because
do it, and then Savvy's like, "Yo, we should do this," and I'm just like, "I am so down. I will fucking figure this out with you right now." And so yeah, I'm really excited.
yeah, it's obviously difficult to do with a fake sport, but I mean,
Yeah,
why the hell not? Because I mean, fantasy sports are cool. I'm very new to them. Scott
yeah.
said he would
The thing
do
is,
a fantasy league for the WNBA, and I was like, great, I'm gonna win this. I'm gonna become like the biggest WNBA fan you know. I'm gonna win this. And then he was like, yeah, I'll probably just forget to do it. And I'm like, I'm not letting you forget.
he definitely
If
is going to
i-
forget to do
if he
it.
doesn't do it, I'm doing it because I want to win. I'm going to draft all the best women's basketball players because nobody else knows who they are, and I'm going to win. So,
See, yeah, the issue with doing it for a fake sport for wrestling is it things are supposed to make sense,
mm,
right? Like there's a certain booking sense, you know what I mean? So like it's unrealistic for me to pick, Saida, even if I think she's the best wrestler in the world, because she's never gonna win. And you can't really make a metric off of just having a good match because that's mostly subjective. So it's like it's very difficult to kind of so like I don't think any of us are gonna pick necessarily our favorite wrestlers. I'm going to for New Japan if I can, but but it's a very interesting concept and I'm excited to try it out. We're only doing it for a few months, but that'll be the first time we do it. If everybody likes it, we will continue doing it. But yeah, it ends June 30th, I believe, and then we will figure something out after that. So yeah, I'm excited to do it. Check it out.
okay, so I think that's enough plugging of the network. um, check it out. It's a great one. But yeah, the reason everybody is here for All Star Brand Queendom. I always forget the name because they used to be Cinderella at the end of every name, and so I would
Yeah,
always just roll off Cinderella, but now they do
and now it's
Queendom.
Queendom. Yeah,
Yeah, like Ryogoku Dream Queendom, and now All Star Grand Queendom. I'm
it's
pretty sure they did an
actually
All Star Grand Climax at one point as well, didn't they?
I don't think they did Grand.
I don't
They
know.
did
I'm pretty sure they did.
All Star Dream Cinderella.
What was the Budokan show not All Star Grand Cinderella?
That was Stardom World Climax.
No, the one before that.
Wait. No, the wait, the December show? We
No,
are like
the one with
we are repelling viewers right now because we just keep bickering about the most random shit.
one with the Tam Julia hair versus hair match. Was that not All Star Grand?
No, that was All Star Dream Cinderella, or that was Stardom. That was a Dream Cinderella, I think.
Right. Okay. So they haven't done. All right. Yeah. The company names shit really weird. But yeah, this is their
They
first
used to
time.
have really good names when they didn't care about names. That's the funny thing.
I don't know. They were okay. I
Like
mean,
they
Stardom
randomly
X
ran Dream
Stardom
Slam.
is is one of the least creative names ever.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
But we enjoyed it. We liked it at the time. But yeah, so they're running Yokohama Arena for this, which is their first time ever in Yokohama Arena. Supposedly, it's the first Joshi show there since 2003. I don't know
It
who
is
ran there in 2003. Was it AJW?
AJW. It was a
Oh,
complete failure.
of course. I mean, everything they did after a certain point was an abject failure. Was it like a? It would have been an anniversary,
It was the
wasn't it?
10-year. I'm pretty sure it was the 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, cause I know didn't they do their like 30th anniversary show in '98 or something? Cause I remember I watching it and I was like, oh, this is how you know they're dead, cause it was bad.
Oh yeah,
So
you were talking about
yeah, so
yeah.
2003 would have been 5 years on. and they kind of tend
I
to
mean,
do
they
those.
kind of they and this is AJW talk. It doesn't really matter, but they kind of pulled it back a little bit at a certain point, but
Mm,
not enough for it to be interesting. You know what I mean?
that is fair. That is fair. But yeah, so this is a
Yeah, it
venue.
was the 35th anniversary show.
Yeah, that would make sense. Um, so I mean, this is a venue with a lot of history for women's wrestling specifically, because this is we're like 30 years on. Not exactly. I think there's about 2 weeks in difference from Dream Slam, which was obviously to this day one of the best shows to have ever happened. Um, if you've never watched Dream Slam, like go do it. It is from the moment the show starts, it is epic until the moment it ends. Even, I didn't love the main event, but a lot of people did.
See, I fucking love the main event.
Of course you did.
Like the main event, I've gone back and forth on. Right now, I love it.
Okay, fair enough. But everything else on that show, pretty great. Hokuto Kandori, that was that show, right? Yeah, that
Yeah,
was obviously that show.
yeah.
Aja
That was the
Kong,
first one though.
Aja Kong had a cool match. Can't remember what it was. Oh no,
No,
she was in the
it
main
was
event.
Monster. No, Ashika. You are messing this up. That's crazy. It was the monsters. It was Bull and Aja versus LLPW.
Oh yeah, yeah, they just kicked the shit
You're
out of
thinking
Eagle
of Big Egg.
Sawai. I
Yeah.
probably am thinking of Big Egg, yeah. But anyway, this is a huge venue in the vintage of Joshi wrestling. And Stardom is running here for the first time, and it is without doubt the best show they've ever put on, like top to bottom. This is ridiculous. Um, you're just looking at it like Mercedes Money versus Mayu Utani isn't even a clear best match. Like to even
Yeah, I mean it's
consider
third from the
that,
top.
yeah, to even consider that is ridiculous.
Hmm. I mean,
Um,
yeah, there are very few matches that like are notably not phenomenal. You know
mm,
what I mean? Even the Yokohama Rumble has potential because of who is already announced for it, being
yes,
one of the most like fucked fuckers in wrestling history. She's great.
yeah. Like they're very much staking their claim with this show. It's a real putting their flag in the dirt kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it appears to be selling well. There's 14 different sections on sale, or there was 14 different sections on sale. 8 of them have sold out. Um, like the remaining ones are obviously the biggest ones. The Arena C is obviously a lot bigger than the front row. Um, they've sold out at least the most important tickets for the most part. For some reason, there's still some like super close ones available, and some VIP ones, but there's not a lot of those left. So they might go by the time the show starts. But it definitely looks like it's going to do well. Um, I think we're at the point where like the benchmark has to be 3,000. Like if this doesn't break 3,000, I don't know if they'd be happy with it.
Yeah. One thing that's kind of funny that I'm looking at is that, like I said, that AJW show is considered a failure. They got 9,000 people in that motherfucker. Uh, so like I don't think Stardom is gonna get close to the
In
AJW failure.
2003?
Yeah, that's why I'm confused.
What? Wow. What was on that show?
It was main evented by Momoe Nakanishi against Ayako Hamada. Uh,
Hmm.
it had Kandori and Hoda teaming up. Um, it had a lot of people actually. Like I'm looking at this. This is a decent card. Um,
Was the guy on
I
it?
mean, it the guy was not on it,
Okay.
but like half of Atrocious Alliance is in it. Dump is in it. She's in a battle royal. Um, Crane, you fucking Condor,
Oh,
like
nice.
Tateno came back for that. Oh wait, Dump's in a tag match too. This is a this is a fuck card. I'm gonna be real. This is a crazy card. They have Double Noe here. Uh, Double Noe versus Nanae Takahashi. It's crazy.
Hmm. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna see one or two of these people on the show. Um, so I suppose we might as well just get into it. The show starts off with the Yokohama Rumble. This is a Royal
Yes.
Rumble style match, so they do count down. You will get to yell the numbers if you so please. The only person announced is Momoe Nakanishi, who is
Which is interesting because the last time Joshi Wrestling, an all women's show ran, uh, she was in the main event. So that's an interesting little, you know, tidbit.
Yeah, because she retired basically with AJW. It was
Yeah.
down the toilet, and she gave up, even though she had many, many more years in her. Um,
I mean, she's still good now. She comes back for Rumbles every once in a while, and she just like kills it.
yeah, like she could have stayed wrestling like with ease. Like her and Natsuki
100%.
Taya retiring when they could have easily wrestled until today.
I
Is
mean,
is very
Tayo is
disappointing.
just a referee who wrestles people, but it says she's retired. It's great.
Yeah, but we all want that Taya match.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but
call her Rossi.
the Rumble will really just be for the cannon fodder. It'll be your Saya Idas, your Momo Kogos. People who don't have anything else to do. There might be a surprise or two as well. I don't really know, like
I could see like
Kyoko in a way.
Inoue. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say Inoue is probably in it.
and some of her kind of underlings from Diana, maybe, because they're usually on shows. You might get something like a Tomoka Inaba, maybe Aoi will show back up in Stardom. So there might be a few surprises there, but it might just be pretty
Imagine if they
mundane.
did two faces of the two faces of Umasaki, and they did Karma and Umasaki, and she gets eliminated. Because they usually do that with you know the machines, right?
Mm.
But it'd be really funny if if Umasaki got eliminated, like immediately she went back, painted her face dumb, put on her stupid gear, and came back out. That'd be hilarious. Funniest thing Karma's ever done if that happened.
You say hilarious, I say terrible. Uh,
Oh yeah, both. But you could be terrible and hilarious. Come on, that's most of wrestling.
I don't know. The only appeal to Karma is when she talks on the microphone, because
Yeah,
the
yeah,
the
that was
voice
bad.
modifier. That's stuff's hilarious. No,
Random pick. Who do you think wins?
um, don't really know. Maybe Momokogo.
I think Momokogo should win. That would be like
Yeah,
cool.
because I feel like every time
It'd
they do one
probably
of these, they
put her
have
over.
somebody like be an absolute loser, and then they win the Rumble, and they're not a loser anymore.
Yeah, I could see that. Uh, Unagi Sayaka. She busy this weekend? I'll just pick her.
I don't think she's working Stardom anymore, my friend.
You know.
Who knows though? Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah.
Stranger things have happened in
Is she
Rossi
real?
Land. Is she real? Yeah. Um, After that, then we get into the actual card. We have the second match of Fuwa-chan. So, big celebrity, well-known person in Japan. She's teaming with Hazuki to take on Utami Hayashishita and Miyu Amasaki. So, pretty smart to get Utami alongside Fuwa, considering the attention this match is getting. I think it's airing live on some TV show as well that not Miyu, Fuwa-chan is on. And they're going to have like
Mhm.
Muto or something for do like announcing
That's
over
what they
it.
did last time.
Yeah. So I think they're airing it live as it happens this time. So it's going to be
Oh, that would be fun.
this Stardom show is going to be on pay-per-view on whatever channel it airs on, and then there's also going to be this match airing on some random TV show. So which is pretty incredible. Which is why you definitely put Utami there because she's eye-catching.
Yeah, and I think that, it's smart to kind of restrict Fuwa to these easier matches. I mean, you look at it, it's mirror to their last match, right?
Mm.
Like it was Fuwa and Hazuki versus Sai Kamitani and Hina. So once again, it is Fuwa and Hazuki. Hazuki's there to kind of protect her because Hazuki trained her and is Hazuki. She can get a good match out of practically anybody. And then you have somebody who is high up in Queen's Quest and somebody who's low down in Queen's Quest. And I think that's smart to stick with that because I mean, last time they delivered a great match. Hina and Sai definitely delivered. I definitely think Utami and Miyu can deliver as well. Um, yeah, I'm excited for this. I actually think it'll be really, really fun. I don't see Fuwa getting a win here either, though. I think it'll probably be Utami over Fuwa again.
Did Fuwa take the pin last time? I thought it was Hina.
Yeah. No, Hina won the match.
Oh really? Okay, yeah. They might have me. They might have
Or
Kevin.
or no. Remember, it was because the Phoenix, wasn't it?
Oh,
Wait, no,
maybe.
it wasn't. No, that was post Phoenix because she stopped using the Phoenix. I don't remember. Saya won though. Like that was definitely what happened.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Because I was thinking they might have Hazuki pin Kevin or something.
Yeah, but I don't. I feel like Fuwa being involved in the fall would make sense.
I guess, yeah. I thought they protected her that first time. I don't know why. Um, Maybe
I don't know.
not.
We watched it like weeks later. You know what I mean? She
Yeah.
definitely lost,
Yeah.
but
Well. Yeah.
yeah,
Um. Yeah, that's that match anyway. It's gonna be fun to see Fua again. It's just good that they get that attention for having her. Um, the next match is a weird one. Honestly, I'm still kind of wrapping my head around it. Jessie, Mariah May, Xena, and Thekla. So they're doing cross faction stuff against Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, Saki Kashima, and Ruaka. So this is the getaway to tie on the card to do heel stuff match, and they're against a ragtag pairing of foreign women.
yeah, um, yeah. Natsuko Tora during the press conference said, "All these white bitches, where's Billie Eilish?" That's literally what she said. And I love her for that. So shout out to Natsuko Tora.
Yeah, Ruaka was
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, X is gonna be Billie Eilish," and I was like, "Oh,
yeah.
sure." But
I, you know what, Natsuko Tora, Ruaka, give them the belts. Why did they lose that match against Seven Up? I think Seven Up is great, and they should keep the belts forever. But if they were going to lose them to anybody, should have been Ruaka and Natsuko. I'm gonna be real. I think that would have been fun.
probably, yeah. But a way to tie. They're never gonna get to do anything anymore. It's pretty sad.
Unless it's Kid, and I'm gonna ruin his life. Yeah.
Yeah, this is I don't know. This is a weird match because I feel like it could be really bad, but there's enough cool wrestlers there that it could be cool. Like if Xena is in there with Tora, maybe.
The way you said, like you trapped yourself in Xena. You were like, oh, is there
Well,
anybody
'cause she
Xena could
throws
wrestle?
the
That would be fun.
chops, and her and Rocker
Yeah.
or something. Jessie and Tora might like run at each other and do shoulder blocks, because that's what Jessie does. Mariah and Momo. I think that could be really fun. And then Thekla and Saki can do the high speed stuff. So like, there's a world in which this is good, but there's
I
also a
think
world
this
where
might be a can they coexist type gimmick.
they might do that. Actually, yeah, that would be really bad.
Which I don't know. Like Tekla's really good.
Yes.
That's why I learned this. Like not that I learned this past weekend, but uh, at that Cinderella show, I just thought about it. It's like Tekla and Maika could carry this faction alone. Like they don't even necessarily need Julia. Like Julia's phenomenal, but like they Julia was out for like half of that match just because her and Tam were done, and it was just Tekla and Maika, and I was like, these two are just they can work out of their fucking boots if they want to. So Tekla could carry this to a good match in my opinion, but you never know. It's a lot of combustible elements, right? Like there's
Yeah,
not
and
this
that's
doesn't have a very high floor, let's put it that way.
yeah, especially because with the Oedo ties, it's occasionally really hard to care. Like their match with Queen's Quest last weekend was really, really good. But I was like, there's nothing to this. I've been given no reason to be interested in this. Like, I couldn't even
Yeah.
tell you who won. Why? Because it doesn't matter who won. And it might be the same here unless one of the foreign
Rena
wrestlers
won.
wins and says,
That took
oh,
me a minute.
yeah, but unless one of the foreign wrestlers wins here and goes, oh, hey, I'm bringing back the SWA belt, then it doesn't matter who wins this one either.
It's really wild they didn't do that. Like I would have thought this show would have been May versus Tekla for the belt. I mean, I've been calling that for like
Yeah,
2 months now
that
because
belt
that would
has
have
to
made
come
sense.
back soon. Like, they've got too many of these wrestlers for it to not.
And I mean, like they have a decent core. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like and they are smart because they've gotten a wrestler from pretty much different countries each time, outside of May and Zaya, and Zaya's not there anymore. So they can whoever they want to wrestle who, it works. Give the belt to Tekla
Mm-hmm.
or the belt to May, and they can run with it. So yeah,
I don't know.
this is
That's
the lowest stakes match on the card for sure, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, easily. From there though, we immediately get into the good shit. Like
Yes.
the undercard is like one tag match, and then it's immediately into the cool stuff. We have they're calling this the super high speed tag match. So it's because it's a super match and it will be high speed. It's not super high speed. It's not gonna wrestle
Well,
and
I mean,
fast
we don't know
forward.
how fast May Sarah has been running lately, so
That's
maybe
true.
it is
I don't
super high
know if
speed.
her cardio is gonna be there though. I mean, I don't know. If I was out of the ring for 18 months, I don't think I would be zooming.
I know. I'm concerned about
Yeah,
that.
that's pretty valid. This match is Mei Suruga wrestling representing Gato Move and Azumi, taking on Starlight Kid and Mei Seira, who is still labeled as Mei Shizuki on the roster on the website, but is she did announce that she changed her name.
Oh no, it's It's because the kanji is very similar.
Right, of course.
It's now it's Seira and not Hoshizuki, but it's very very similar kanji
Yeah.
from what I remember.
But yeah, this is I mean, this will be great, and I assume May Sarah pins somebody because
I
she's
imagine it's Sarah over Izumi.
yeah, because I mean she's the only person left to take that high speed belt off Azumi. Otherwise, I have no idea what they're gonna do to take that belt off her.
Koguma? They had a match last year, but that's the only other
Yeah,
person really,
maybe.
since Saki just lost.
Mm. Like it has to be May Sarah at that point. She has to like take the mantle,
Yeah,
surely. Because I assume she'll join full time. Um, like
seems
she
like it.
doesn't have anywhere else to be. Since she left Marvelous, she hasn't appeared anywhere. I assume Stardom has only brought her back because they can sign her. And I mean, if you're gonna have a new high speed ace, then there's nobody better than her really, because that was her style. Like she was amazing at it.
Yeah. The story is that Kid invited her,
Mm.
and Sarah's like, "Shit, I've been wanting to get in the ring. Fuck Oedo Tai though." And Sarah Kid's like, "Yeah, save that. We'll talk about that later." Uh, so yeah, the idea is that Kid kind of wants to recruit her, but Sarah has wants no part of it. She's kind of just here to run fast. So I hope she can still run fast. That's where it's at with this one. I'm obviously a big high speed wrestling fan. Um, May Suruga getting on the card is incredible. I'm super
Hmm.
happy with that. Uh, Having a match that's built around Izumi is also great for me personally. And May Sarah's awesome, and Starlight Kid just is a clout chaser. So
Okay.
that's okay. That's okay. I get it. I get it. If I could be in the ring with three of the best high speed wrestlers in the world, I would want to be there too. So
What's
yeah,
great is that she's continuously like, yeah, I'm gone past this division. I don't even want the belt anymore, but let's have high
she
speed
keeps going
matches.
back.
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting.
Fucking nerd.
But yeah, I mean, this could like be insane. Like, I don't know if there are new people here, but like the high speed Joshi style is ridiculous. It is unlike anything you've seen. Like, and these four specifically, like Mei Suruga and Mei Hoshizuki, mind bending wrestlers. Like they just do
Yeah.
stuff that you'd never expect. And Azumi and Kid are really good at keeping up with that pace and working off it. So yeah, I mean, be prepared for this one to like blow your mind.
100%. I hope it's really, really good. And I'm excited for the Sarah Azumi rematch. That'll be a fun one when they do run the singles that I imagine they're planning on.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hope so. um, but I never know with that division because
They did say, like, I don't know if it was Kid or if it was Sarah herself that was like, "Oh, now that you're in the company, or now that I'm in the company." So predictably, she will be around for a while. Uh, who knows where she lands though?
she feels
I'm
very
excited to see like her new gear and like
yes.
her new shit, like everything. Honestly,
Yeah, she's gonna
just to see
have a
where
whole new
she's at.
presentation, which is gonna be interesting because I mean Kohaku got the same. She briefly looked like an elf.
Kohaku leveled up, bro.
Yeah, even though she looked like an elf for a little while there, which
Yes,
was
a little bit.
kind of funny. Um,
She got that emerald gear. She bled the other day. She's a fucking monster, bro.
yeah, she did a
Love
crazy
Kohaku.
match the other day. I saw some pictures of that. Um, but yeah, that's where do you see May Sarah landing? Because she feels very Queen's Quest or Stars, and that's it.
I could see her going DDM,
Ah, really?
depending
I
on
don't
her
know.
vibe. Depending on
I
like,
don't know.
cause I mean DDM needs some motherfuckers, bro. Like they don't need it. Like I said, fucking Maika and Thekla alone could carry a faction with 7 underlings. It doesn't really matter, and they have Julia, so they don't even need to. But I think Sarah to yeah, I think that works to DDM.
It's gonna be the most random thing you've ever pulled out, because like this is not happening.
I don't know. I like Tekla. Now that there's foreigners, Tekla doesn't need to be high speed. Like she can be, but she doesn't even like really wrestle at that like super fast pace that she was last year. Because she doesn't really have to prove that she can. So she doesn't need to be their high speed person. Uh, they lost Natsuko last year, so even the person who could doesn't really anymore, but could challenge for high speed. She left. I definitely could see Mesera to DDM. Um, yeah, that's what because I don't think they break the Queen's Quest thing of being homegrown, and I think that Stars already has enough people in that zone of like trying to get over in the undercard, because Sarah isn't going to be a main eventer, especially not right away. So it's just going to be a fifth person trying to get over in the undercard. You know what I mean?
I guess. I don't know if stars can ever have too many though. That's kind of they're just kind of
I mean,
for
yeah, I
everybody.
mean, Stardom Army. It's like if they just want to kind of go Stardom Army and just be cool, like with whoever, be an open door type thing. I would be cool with that. And Sarah's, aligned with them. Maybe she just goes Riho style and just tags with whoever for a while. Who knows?
I don't know. I feel like she's gonna be champion, then she has to settle into one group. Like I don't think
You
they
would
would do
think,
that.
but
I know they did it with Riho, but it was an abject failure, so they'll probably never do it again.
it's true.
Um, so yeah, I wouldn't say that would happen, and I would expect her to maybe
One thing
land.
that's really funny is I don't think about God's Eye. Like that's like I forgot God's Eye is a possibility
Well,
for her to
they have
land
too
in. I
many
don't think she
people
does.
anyway. I wouldn't have.
Yeah. I mean, they only have 5, and but yeah, it's some of the factions are very forgettable.
Yes, that's true. Um, yeah, that's that match. It would be interesting to see what goes down there. That could lead to a lot of fun stuff in the high speed division, and just happy to see May Sarah back, honestly. And
Yeah,
then we have they're really starting it early. We have the Himeka retirement match, which isn't actually her retirement match anymore, but it's her last match in Stardom.
it might be
Yeah, I don't know
because
what the
they haven't
story
announced
is
the card.
because they've been like, yeah, this is her last Stardom match. She is retiring. She's doing the Jumbo show in like a week's time, but this is her last
They
match.
called that like an epilogue.
Yeah. But this is her versus Maika. Um, so this is
Man,
the former tag team partners going at it with Himeka retiring. Um, and they're gonna kill it. They're gonna go crazy. Like the
man,
dude, they're just gonna leave it
I'm
all out there.
so I'm so broken up. This is the last time I get to see Himeka versus Micah.
Yeah.
Uh,
They only did it
because they only had
once.
one,
Yeah,
right?
like,
Yeah,
you know.
and it's such a good matchup.
hmm
Like they had so much potential with that matchup in the future. Man, I'm gonna miss Himeka a lot. Like, I'm kind of trying to like reason with myself and be like, you don't need her. It's okay. You
Hmm.
don't need her, Dylan. But I'm really sad, like, because she is, one of my favorites. She's been one of my favorites since she debuted with the company. I think she's really great, and she's definitely going to be a missed aspect of the more Haas style, right? She's kind of a pillar of that in the company. Even though she's probably not the best at it, she has a lot of stake in it, and she's very much like a focal point of it. uh, Everybody gets some of their best stuff against Himeka if they're a powerhouse wrestler. So she will be missed. This match will be really, really good. They're gonna fucking kill each other because tag team partners kill each other the best. Um, I've written an entire article about how good these two are together and against each other. So go check that out, 5starnetwork.co. Yeah, it sucks. This is the last one.
Yeah, they have that pretty rare chemistry that wrestlers have sometimes, where it just works. And
Yeah,
like normally you wouldn't expect it, because I think Micah especially like really surprised everybody with her prowess at that kind of hoss stuff. Because at
yeah.
first you'd think, oh, this is the powerhouse versus the technician, and it's like, no, they're both they're both brick shit houses, and they're going to kill each other.
I mean, I've said it before. Micah's like arguably stronger. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like she does way more feats of strength than Himeka does.
yeah, she's very deceptive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I assume Micah wins because that just makes the most sense
Yes.
to send off.
Honestly, Micah winning here and getting something uh in Fukuoka feels like probably what they're gonna
Hmm.
do. Because I think Peps mentioned it. Micah hasn't been pinned in like almost a year, like since the 5 star. Or no, it was since Utami pinned her because she got in a fight with Hiroshi Tanahashi. That's what happened. Um, Yeah, she hasn't been pinned in like a while, so she could definitely get another championship match and lose again. Shouts out Goto. Um, but yeah, I definitely see kind of Micah winning this and kind of using it as a head of steam going forward a little bit.
Yeah, it would be a good launch pad to put her into that number 2 spot in DDM, which she's gonna have to fill
Yeah,
now. Um, And then yeah, Himeka's retirement ceremony, I think it's in 3 weeks' time at a Corkin. So like this is her last match, and then she's doing the
May
full
14th,
goodbye
I
on May
believe.
14th. So there's another chance to wave off Jumbo, and we don't really know what she's doing, but I assume she's going to be on the Jumbo Forever Wave X Bushiroad fight show, which I've basically guessed will be something to do with Junior Akiyama because he has a big impact on her career. Um,
Yeah.
but we don't really know anything about that because they've been very quiet about it. So that's fun. Um, all right, so the next match then on the show is a Goddess of Stardom Championship match. Nanae, Takahashi, and Yu of 7 Up defend against Mariah and Ami Sourei of God's Eye. They are also known as the New Eras. I don't know why.
They are also known as the Kyokos.
Yes, we coined that one because
Yeah.
though I don't think it applies anymore because Mariah is like great, but I don't know.
Yeah, they both wrestled at least like Kyoko Noe for a long time, long enough for me to call them the
That's
Kyokos.
valid. So yeah, this is a pretty big one because the Mariah and Ami have felt like the next tag champs for a while because they've challenged so
Hmm.
much, but they've never won them. And then Mariah kind of had this weird spell where she was a bit wayward, and then they ended that by having her win the Cinderella out of nowhere. So what felt like a natural conclusion of them beating Seven Up is now very much up in the air.
Yeah, because do they run the classic white belt X tag belt thing? Because I feel like 7 people have done that. Um, but I don't know. I feel like that's a bit much for Mariah. I'm gonna be real, and I feel like nowadays they can't really do those double champions thing because they want to get the championships on most of the
Mm,
shows. Like they don't want the Goddess belt to have to take the back seat to the white belt and just never be on pay-per-view again. You know what I mean? Like they don't really like doing that. So yeah, I mean I'm cool with the 7 Up win. I think 7 Up's on a fucking run. I think that they're, on their way to being like top 3 best tag teams in Stardom history just because they haven't missed
yeah.
yet. You know what I mean? Like they had like what one bad showcase match that nobody wants to talk about anymore because there's no point, and then they killed it for the rest of their time as a team. They added Unimon, had a great trio. You know, probably the highlight of the Derby. That was not that great. Like they're just on a run. You can keep a belt forever as long. Like keeping you chained to Stardom in some way, shape, or form is best case scenario. Uh, so yeah, I think that they should win,
Hmm.
but you never really know because maybe Mariah just goes double, or maybe she loses 2 years in a row, which would be crazy. But
Yeah,
who
I
knows?
think the thing to me is that they've also set up a 7 Up versus FWC a little bit. Like, I don't know if you remember the Hazuki interactions with them. I think it might have been the Triangle Derby, where it very much seemed like they were setting up a tag title match. So, even the Fukuoka show isn't in like 2 weeks' time. 7 Up versus
Oh my god,
FWC.
please give me 7 Up FWC instead of 7 Up Kyokos, please. I'm begging.
Yeah, like I could
I never
see
want to
that
see that match
happening
again.
because sometimes as I always say about Stardom, they like to show their hand a little bit, and setting up 7 Up versus FWC so far in advance would definitely be a very them thing. Um, so I could see it, like I could see 7 Up retaining here because I felt
I would like
yeah,
that.
like I originally felt like this was the point where they'd lose the belts, but Mariah's recent stuff and Ami being the future champion as well kind of puts that in
Yeah.
question. Because do you really want both of them having the tag belts and a separate singles belt? Although I'm not sure Mariah wins the singles title, but it certainly would just kind of
We'll talk
be
about that a little later.
yeah, it would certainly just be a bit interesting timing wise. So definitely the favor has swung towards 7 Up. But this could be a great match. I mean, tag wrestling and Stardom can be pretty elite tier. Not like the elite, like actually elite. Um, Especially when Seven Up are involved because they just go crazy. Um,
What a random dig.
no, it's just because people will think like I mean like the elite style of tags because that's a very specific style. But I mean like
It is very
yeah.
specific, yeah.
But yeah, like Mariah and Ami haven't been great as a team to date, although they did improve throughout the tag league. But they've definitely yet to
One of
deliver.
their best matches one of their best matches was against 7 Up in the tag league because they just fucking I don't know. I feel like you has beef with Mirai. Like I don't know what it stems from. It might be a TJPW thing. It might I don't know, but there's something there, and they could definitely, lean into that and kind of have it be real, real stiff shit.
I hope so. I mean, listen, if
I hope
Mariah
so.
and you just like beat the shit out of each other, that would be incredible. Best match of the show,
Yeah,
easily.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like I said, just keep you around as long as possible.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like
she's like
that's
one of the best wrestlers going right now.
because like Nanae's gonna be around regardless because she just kind of is around. But I feel like if they drop the titles, it could very easily turn into Yu's not around much and just Yuna and Nanae are around, and that's 7 Up, right? And I kind of just want something to keep you around for as long as possible.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I would also be in favor of keeping you around.
'Cause, yeah, she's great, one of the best in the world. I this is a bit off topic. I made a roster of the year board for like representatives of different rosters,
Hmm.
whatever. Currently, Eve is the 10th ranked roster of the year solely because of you.
Right.
So you is better than like 20 other companies combined wrestlers in what I've seen this year. That's kind of fucking crazy.
Pretty valid though. She's done a
Yeah,
lot, She's, one of the better
she's
freelancers
insane.
anyway, to say the least, like better off freelancers.
Yeah, she's really, really good.
Um,
Shout
the
out to you.
next match on the show then, this is like a fever dream match. Like how the
A little
hell
bit.
did we get here? Um, Risa Seira, Suzu Suzuki, and Kurumi Hirage of Prominence against Kairi, Saori Anu, and Natsupoi of Restart. What the hell? How does this happen? Like, this is crazy.
Part of me just thinks Natsuko is gonna get fucking beat.
Yeah.
like, like, really? When we think about it, Kyrie isn't around enough to be a artist champion.
I don't know about that. I think she could be.
Because the artist championships are not going to be like I don't know. I feel like
They've
she's
just
not gonna wrestle at a
they've just
Korakuen.
been on part timers.
Yeah, but they wrestle at Korakuens. Like, I mean, she's too big time for it. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know though. It feels like they've done a lot with this prominence reign. I don't know what else there is. I mean, they've beat Queen's Quest. They beat God's Eye.
Stars. I think it's stars
Yeah, I guess. But if Stars are next up for 7 Up, then
for a
are they
goddess.
also going to
Then
be
yeah, I don't know.
next up for the RS belts?
I mean, well, does Tam win here? Because DDM, Julia might need a consolation prize
Cam
for a bit.
doesn't likely is not winning the tonight.
I don't
Yeah,
I don't think she's
I
winning
don't.
now, but I think there's interesting ways to go about it. Um,
Yeah, I think the one thing.
there's more for prominence to do. I don't agree with that. Um, I don't think that they are done. Like they could keep holding them, and they definitely have other stuff, other wrestlers they
But
could
what,
face. I mean,
like,
they never defended against 7 Up.
well, yeah, but they faced them in the semifinals, didn't they? The Derby.
Did they
I'm
face them in
pretty
the
sure they
semifinals?
did.
They might have.
Yeah, because it was the best match of the tournament. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, probably. That sounds about right. Uh, oh yeah, they
Yeah.
did. That was really good. Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like there is more for them to do. I'm
Well,
gonna
you
I'm gonna
say that, but
say
what
that.
is
But
there? Like a DDM
like I
match,
said, like
maybe at a push.
a DDM match, Club Venus has, they're
Oh
around.
God,
They could
no way. They're
that
gonna do
would
that.
be really funny.
Actually, no. I think Club Venus are gonna challenge the tag belts, maybe. Because I feel like there
You know,
was one belt.
Club Venus fans are shooting for the stars. Because I saw like a bunch of people asking for Mariah Man and Xena to face Karma and Kid for
Oh
the
yeah,
new blood belts, and I'm just like, they can tag for the goddess belts. I don't think they need I don't think they need to go down to new blood personally.
well, those are for
Um,
Jessie. That top belt's for Jessie. You gotta.
Jesse's been wrestling too long. I was gonna say she could fucking beat Utami. Who
Yeah,
cares?
hell yeah. People like Jessie as well after the last match, and I felt very vindicated.
Oh, I don't feel any type of way
I
about
think
her,
Scott
honestly.
said that she looked
Um,
good, and I was like, well, if Scott says it, then I'm right. So, um, Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, now that you mention it, I do think Club Venus could probably challenge Prominence, and that would continue their reign. So, yeah, it's probably Natsupoi taking a pin here, sadly.
Because like I can definitely see Restart
Yeah.
winning, but it feels like hitching Ano to Cosmic Angels too long, too like long term. Because at this point, she could turn on them fucking later in the night
Mhm.
for all we know. She does not feel like she does not feel into it at all. And like what? So Kyrie has to face off against like trios. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, it feels like putting them into that spot for a while because like I don't like I mean yeah Natsuko could just lose them at some point but I just feel like we aren't like long term Restart doesn't need or want the belts because it kind of messes up some other stuff.
I guess it really
Does that
depends
make
on
sense?
Kyrie, because she's
Yeah,
all over the place in terms of usage. You know,
yeah, totally.
like I know,
And I mean Anno's independent at least until July,
yeah.
so
I mean, Anno when Anno joins, I
like
mean, she's getting her own group, so like that's not a
probably yeah.
like we know that.
I mean Natsuko just was in in the news saying I actually didn't want her here. Why the fuck is she here, bro? I guess I'll team with her. It's cool, but like, why the fuck is she here? I'm just like, you're gonna die because of that. You should not be saying that about somebody who is taller than you and more powerful than you.
Yeah.
Natsupoi, not the smartest person in the
No, I
world.
mean we've known this. Like that's pretty much an established
Yes,
character trope at this stage. Um,
very
yeah, I
much.
mean this is gonna be crazy. Suzu Suzuki is gonna win a match in Yokohama Arena. Isn't that incredible?
Karumi Hiragi is gonna win a match in
Yeah, but
Yokohama
Suzu's
Arena.
getting the pin. Like this is the Suzu
Well,
show.
yes, but well, yeah, Suzu over Natsupoi is
Yeah.
such an easy run. So
Or
yeah,
they
I mean,
well
she
they
pinned
could really play
Utami.
off Suzu and Ano.
Yeah, I mean, they could play off of Prominence and
Yeah,
Ano a lot.
'cause,
Like, just in
like there's
general.
history there. With Suzu and Ano having an was it Suzu and Ano had an Ice X Infinity title match at one point? And then
I don't watch Ice Room, but I'm pretty sure
they
they have,
started
yes.
to team as Suzutan Anotan, which is why Suzu referred to her as Anutan when she first showed up in Stardom. So like they could really play off that if they wanted to. But I don't know if that would affect the result of the match.
Yeah, I mean, Ano's not taking the L.
Yeah. That woman barely
Uh,
put over anybody to lose the Ice Ribbon belt. I don't think she's losing a trios tag match here.
yeah, the last time. Oh, wow, this is interesting. The last time that they tagged together, the last time Ano and Suzu were in the same match together, they lost to Yukihi and Sarah
Oh.
for the tag belts.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Ice Ribbon sounded fun. Like I like sometimes I was like, man, I should have checked that out a bit more because these motherfuckers rule. But
Yeah, Ice Ribbon used to be cool.
been late.
It's kind of they book although Ice Ribbon has Mia Momono now. Did you see that? She's working a show.
I heard about that. I was very upset. I was like, these motherfuckers they find a way to try to draw
Yeah.
me in.
Io is never showing up in Stardom, is she? Like that's just dead. um,
Probably
but
not.
yeah, this is you've talked me into this. This is a prominence defense. You know what?
I mean, Natsuko just has been losing
That's
so
true.
much lately too.
Uh,
Is that it's like it feels weird to like reward her with a belt after she's lost every match.
One thing that I think is cool about this show is that all of the title matches you could like decidedly make a case for either winner, which is very
Yeah,
rare. But like
100%.
every title match is 50-50.
And it's not even like a oh no, please don't go this way,
Yeah.
even though it might make sense. Like every match, it's like no,
Hmm.
that's fair. Like I'm probably the lowest on Mirai Ami, just because I feel like they have other shit they could be doing. Uh, and I want Seven Up to retain. But other than that, it's like everybody's like, okay, like that. I'm cool with pretty much either of them. Like I prefer one, but like really anybody works for any of these belts. Like you're 100% right that it is a very most of the matches are toss-ups, but they're not like bad toss-ups where it's like, oh, one clearly should win, but they might not do that. Everything feels pretty even peel.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that will be no more evident than in some of the later matches. The next match on the show then is Syuri versus Sendai Girls Pro Wrestling ace Chihiro Hashimoto. This is a women's professional wrestling strongest decision match. So they're basically wrestling to decide who is the best in the world. Um,
I love how neither of them are champions, and they're like, okay, but
yeah.
this is
That
the
is
real one.
that is Syuri's spot though. She is like even
That is also
yes.
Hashimoto's
I'm
spot.
pretty sure Julia beat Syuri and was like, Syuri's the best wrestler in the company, and Syuri's been like, yeah, I'm the best in the company. Like it's very
I mean,
it's
yeah,
very much her status is as the best wrestler.
Shuri and Mayu are just like
Yeah,
unsurpassable. Because I remember Utami, even though she had like an incredible run for like a year, she's like, I don't know, I still feel worse than Mayu. Like Mayu, Mayu still got that on me. Like you know what I mean? Like the entire time, and I love that. Even though she beat her like multiple times, she's like Mayu's just it's still
yeah,
Mayu, bro. I don't know what to do about that. And that's how Shuri is in Stardom, and that's how Hashimoto will always be in
yeah. I mean,
Sendai.
there is
Uh,
no bigger
go on.
form of dominance than what Chihiro Hashimoto has done in Sendai Girls. Like it is very much akin.
Dude, I looked it up.
It's very
Go on.
much akin to like post split JWP or LLPW where Kandori ran LLPW. Like it was her domain,
Yeah.
and JWP was kind of the same with Dynamite Kanzai, where like she was the one. Like this was her
Mhm.
company. But Hashimoto has taken that to a
And
new
both of them are
level. Like
great.
Hashimoto is
Hashimoto's also
untouchable.
great. I mean, I put it in the article for Last Word if you guys want to check that out. It's kind of where what we're using as a little bit of guide. Um, if Shuri
Hmm.
wins, she will be the first human being to beat Chihiro Hashimoto more than twice.
What?
Because Dash is in singles competition, obviously. Like
You're
she might have
saying
been in tags,
Miko
but
Satomura
Dash has
didn't
beat
do
her
it?
twice. Yes. No, I'm pretty sure she
Oh
beat her
my
twice.
god.
Miko beat her twice.
Holy shit.
Again, this is cage match, so you know you never know. They might
Yeah.
have a fucking. But I mean, they're yeah. I'm pretty sure. Uh, what is it? Lose percentage. That's not the right one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she would be the first person to beat her more than twice.
That is absurd. And Chihiro Hashimoto's been around a
Like
while.
the
Like, she's not a newcomer by any chance.
no.
So, to me, this match is one of the best cases of like unstoppable force meets a movable object in a long time. This has the energy of those dream matches that used to happen when AJW would work with JWP and LPW. This is this is our Aja versus Kansai, you know? Because these two are just
Yeah.
unstoppable. Like between them, they've probably taken less than 5 pinfall losses in the last 12 months. Between the both of them. And most of those will be Shuri in the GP. Like we're like this is an unprecedented level of untouchable versus untouchable. It is incredible that this match is even happening.
Wait, Alex. Mako Satomura's never beaten Hashimoto.
Oh my god. What?
Yeah, Hash is
She
3-0
I
against
thought she
Mako in
took the belt
singles.
off of Hash at one point, but that yeah.
No, Hashimoto took the belt off of her and then defended against
Wow.
her twice.
Yeah, so I mean that says a lot.
Yeah,
Miko
Jesus
Satomura
Christ.
didn't put over a lot of people. She put Hashimoto over, like without any hesitation.
Three
Like she
times.
made sure you knew Hashimoto was the top dog. So yeah, this is huge. Like this is a huge match. You know, like I know some people have been very weird about the build, and it's like it's I get it. I would have liked at least one preview tag where we got to see them. They've made Hashimoto look like a killer in Stardom. Like she ran through Mirai, and we've seen the pedigree of Mirai. She ran through Himeka, and we've obviously seen what Himeka has done since arriving in Stardom. So she feels like a huge deal. Shuri, as I said, is established as the best wrestler in the company, whether she's champion or not. So this is a huge match. Um, and you know I think the only drawback is that the stipulation definitely points to Shuri winning because you can only win by submission, knockout, or referee stoppage. And that very much plays into the hands of Suri and her moveset. Because she does so many kicks to the head and submissions that I see her just landing maybe one punt to the face and they call the match against Hashimoto.
Yeah, I could see that. I feel like Hashimoto wouldn't be crazy though. I feel like, and they could run it because
See,
I
I
mean,
feel like you'd only do that if she's coming back, but that presents in itself a
yeah.
lot of issues. Like, who does she wrestle next? And if she tries to challenge for a belt, how the hell do you work that out politically?
Okay, well, I never
But
said anything
you know
about a
what I
belt.
mean? Like,
Let's be
if
easy there.
she comes back,
Yeah.
there's not much else for her to do after beating Siri.
You know, and this is me. This is fully fantasy booking. It's not really like even but like I could see her beating Shuri, it shaking Shuri, and it keeping Shuri from winning another belt because she's not going to lose matches. You know, like unless like if she beats Hashimoto, then like she's she's the one, right? Like that's kind of it. Not the one, but like it puts her over big. So I could see Hashimoto winning here, going away, Shuri losing matches, and then Shuri being like, I have been shaken since fucking I lost Hashimoto. I want to wrestle her again at like year end." And that being kind of like her year long arc of her not having a strong year because she's had strong years every single year for the past like since she came back from the UFC. You know what I mean? Like she's had strong years. She can use a year where she's kind of like shaken a little bit. And the only wrestler who could really shake her, I think, would be someone the caliber of
Mm.
Hashimoto. I can see a Hashimoto win,
Yeah,
but they would have to run it back, and sure would have to beat her
yeah.
year
I mean,
end.
I don't think they'd be opposed to 50-50. Hashimoto has certainly done it
And
before.
this is one of the places where a 50-50 works. Like I don't think this is like a I don't think this is like a, oh, so they had to do 1-1 so that like this isn't, I don't feel any type of way about the politics of this because it makes
But
sense.
yeah, I mean,
So if they
like,
wanna go 50-50,
ace
they can go
versus ace
50-50.
50-50 is like an age-old play, and it's never killed
Yeah,
anyone. I mean, Hokuto and Kandori were fine after going 50-50. Um,
exactly.
fucking Hoda and Kandori even were fine after going 50-50. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to a Hashimoto win and Siri getting the win back later in the year, because I mean the matches are going to be great. Um, but it would definitely be nice if they like played off it, although I don't really expect that because it might be asking a lot of Stardom.
Yeah. They don't really have strong, you know, uh, they don't do that strongly where they just kinda, like, have something play off something
It
for a long
depends,
time.
but usually
Um,
they just cycle you down and that's just
yeah.
it. And they're just like, yeah, you're kind of mid
'Cause I
now,
mean,
and
like,
it's like, all right, cool.
look at Julia. I mean, we thought that Julia would like have like after she got her head shaved, she'd have like a real like, you know, rough ascent back to, she beat Maika and Himeka in 20 days. Like like it
Yeah,
was
she
instant.
she was like, I
Not
want to
even. It was
start
like
from the
2
bottom.
weeks.
I'm gonna be the opening match. I'm gonna work my way back up, and then 3 weeks later, she was a champion. It was
She
so
won in the
funny.
main event of,
Yeah,
yeah. Like they do not stick to things at all when it comes to like kind of lowering someone to make them look human and then putting them back over so that like is this big
mm.
triumph. They don't really do that. So Shuri probably wins this, but I would be interested in how they could play off of a
Yeah, that
50-50.
would be pretty fun. So based off the precedent, Suri kissed Hashimoto on Monday.
Kiss
Yeah,
his death,
and
yes.
and given
Yes.
the precedent, the last time Suri kissed somebody in the build up to a match, it was Utami. They went on to.
No, 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 no. It was
Was it really?
Himeka.
Okay. All right. Well, that
It was
breaks my
Himeka.
thing because I was gonna say the last time she kissed somebody, it gave us a 5.5-star match. So are they gonna break the scale again? But Himeka did not break the scale, sadly. So can't be doing that.
I mean, well, I think Himeka might have kissed Shuri. Yeah, I think
Hmm.
Himeka, so if we're talking about
Yeah. Well, Shuri
who
kissing
presented,
is the main point there. She kissed Utami.
yeah,
Yeah.
kiss of death.
So, maybe
Uh,
this might be our scale
yeah.
breaker. Dave, you better pay attention. She kissed her, and that's a good sign. So, yeah.
That was crazy. Bro, Sprite was in the crowd for that, and I was like, "That's crazy." You just got to see him, you just got to see the
Yeah.
kiss of death in
Pretty
action, that's
fun.
wild.
But that is that match. That is one of the few non-title matches high up on the card because, well, this is two of the top most pushed wrestlers in Joshi going head to head.
Yeah.
The next match then is the IWGP Women's Championship match. It is Mercedes Money versus Mayu Iwatani. This still doesn't feel real. I keep looking at the graphic and
No.
I'm like, this isn't happening, and it will not feel real until they're in the ring, and it will finally hit me. Um, Like when the topic of Mercedes' Stardom first came up, we both immediately said she has to face Mayu. Her and Mayu is
Yeah, it was Mayu and
yes,
then everybody
Mayu
else, right?
is the one. Mayu is Stardom. Um, and it took them a few months to get here, but Stardom probably said, "Hey, this one's ours. You don't get this one, Gato. This one is ours." Um, yeah, this is huge. And in fairness, I think this has shown Mercedes' commitment to Stardom because she showed up last week on the show, and Dave reported that that
Yeah,
wasn't in her contract, that she wasn't asked to do that, that she pitched to do that. So very much enhanced by being in Stardom and working with Mayu. So I think this,
I mean, she's working me. Like I think she might be working me. I'm gonna be real because every like because I check her Instagram stories and whatnot. Every day she's like, "Oh yeah, I love it here. I am moving here. Like, how do I
mm,
move here? How do I wrestle here forever?" And I'm just like, I don't know if she's just like kind of doing that to like make it seem like, oh, she like because she knows. I feel like I'm getting worked into a shoot, into a work, into a shoot, and I don't like that, brother. You know what I mean? I'm starting to buy into this idea that maybe she's staying for a while. Like in Japan, like wrestling. Maybe not like, every month or every week or anything, but like pretty consistently. She seems really into it. I think Scott was saying that. That's like, people were saying, "Oh, she'll wrestle 2 matches in Japan, then go back to WWE or go back to America, go to AEW, whatever." But Scott's been saying from the jump, he was like, "I think she might
yeah,
get the bug, right? She might feel it and just wanna do what she can in Japan." And I think that's where we're at,
yeah.
right? Which makes this match yet another
This
toss up
this one is the biggest one
because
because there's
I
so
don't
many
fucking know.
factors. Because this is her last contracted date as of now. As Dave reported as well,
But she's already talking
yeah,
about another one.
she's negotiating another one with them. Um, I fully believe she's losing here. Um,
I think it would be
yeah,
smart for her to lose
because
here
well,
regardless.
the
Because
story,
I think beating her is
yeah,
important
but the
earlier,
storyline has also been her getting one
you
over
know?
on Mayu every step of the way. Like 3 times
Yeah.
now, she's beat Mayu up and stood tall to close. So Mayu getting the win back and taking the belt would make the most sense. That's just pro wrestling 101. Um,
Yes.
I also feel like, given her recent character shift in Stardom specifically, she doesn't need the title. Because much like Chris Jericho used to
No.
do, she can just show up, attack somebody, cut a promo, and leave. Like if she wants to work Suri, you don't need to be champion to work Suri. You just need to go, this is my company and I'm better than you, and Suri will kick the shit out of you for it. So I think
Mhm.
we could see a shift after this match of her and her character. I really don't think she needs the belt to do stuff, especially in Stardom. Um,
I think she had the belt and she had it for the press run for Mandalorian, and I think that's kinda what needed. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that was kind of, uh it got the belt
yeah,
places, right? It got the belt just people looking at the belt more. So if somebody said, "Oh, that looks cool. What the fuck is that?" Which doesn't happen as much as people think it does, but if that happened, then it's 2 more eyes than would have been on it before. So I think she did what she needed to do with the belt promotional wise, and I think beating her here is a great
mm,
idea because not only does that mean if she wants to do a TJPW date, you know, she can, but it also means that she can lose to a Julia. You know what I mean? If because they're already teasing that match, and obviously they've teased a million matches that haven't actually happened. But if they wanted to do Mercedes versus Julia at some point, like fucking year end or something stupid like that, which they won't because the 5 star, you know, her being able to lose now would be smart, right? Like so that's not a political disaster. Um, so yeah, I think her losing here would make sense. If she keeps it, then she keeps it, and I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? She could do a lot of
yeah.
cool stuff.
I think another factor in me thinking Mayu wins is that Sari has already said she wants this belt, and Mayu versus
Yeah.
Sari is a match they tried to do 3 years ago now, and they
That has a
Yeah,
Rossi
they
match.
probably want to go back to that, and the easiest way would be for Sari versus Mayu. So
Like, one thing that's funny that I was thinking about yesterday was Rossi doesn't react to like anything ever in like, Shoe Pro or, anything like that. But the second that Sari said, "Oh, that IWGP," she's like, "Yo, hey, I heard that, I heard that," and like I find that hilarious. Like he really wants Sari to work for him, and he really wants her to work
yeah,
Mayu. So you definitely have that point as
I mean,
well.
I believe Mayu wins, and I think Mercedes goes and does other matches that she wants because I think that's important here. Mercedes is doing what she wants, and what she wants is a Miyu Yamashita match. Um, and
Yes,
Summer Sun Princess and Cyber Fight Festival are just around the corner, so that's a good place to do either of those if she wants. She wants a match with Azure Kong. How or where she does that, but I'm sure she's gonna make it happen if she really wants to. But you can't do that match in Stardom because Rossi and Aja have problems going back a long, long time. So Aja isn't gonna work here.
that Aja recently tweeted, "I still fucking
Yeah.
hate that guy."
So
So
she's not gonna work Stardom anytime soon, sadly. So I firmly believe that Mercedes isn't done with Stardom. She has other things she wants to do. She's gonna do, and she's going to cycle back around eventually because I'm still adamant that she wants that Tokyo Dome match. So she'll be back to work the Tokyo Dome um, for Bushi Road eventually.
at least
But yeah, I feel like this might be the end of her like current run in Stardom and New Japan obviously.
get her in the
I
five
mean,
star.
listen, if that could happen, I think the game would change. Like that would be ridiculous.
We need to get the 5 star on the level of the G1, where everybody for no reason wants to work the G1, even though half the time the G1's kind of ass. And it just hurts you. Like the tournament is not always that great, but it will always fucking hurt the wrestlers a lot. We need to get the 5 star to that level where it doesn't even have to be good and everybody wants to work it. Um, so yeah, work the 5 star
You should,
Mercedes
yeah.
gang.
I mean,
Pay her whatever she
oh,
needs to work the five
maybe.
star.
Well, we have to wait and see on that.
Don't go bankrupt, but
I mean, I would be down for it. I don't know. I don't know what she would think of it. I think she might want to protect herself a bit too much to work that kind of schedule. But I mean, I have no idea. I don't know her. But I would be down for a Mercedes 5 star. But yeah, I feel like she's gonna do some other stuff and then cycle back to Stardom. She might retain. I have no
yeah,
issue with her retaining. Like it's this belt. I know.
there's more stuff for her to do.
Yeah.
Like like
I
she
mean,
could
if it's
drop it
her
at
and
Dominion or
Sari,
something.
that's cool too. Her and Sari would probably be incredible. They can
Yeah,
do Mayu and Sari any other way they want, really. So there's definitely legs to it with Mercedes. Um, I I think there's a small chance Mirai challenges for this belt as well.
hmm.
'Cause I see people going, oh, like red belt, white belt, but I feel like there's a chance she's a IWGP challenger because I mean,
She just wants to lose to every champion.
yeah.
That's the real
You think you look at Mariah and you see, oh, she could lose at a Dominion. Like she can get 10 minutes with
Yeah,
somebody at a Dominion and lose. So
I think if Mayu wins, that could be the Dominion match.
yeah.
Is Mayu Mirai?
So like I wouldn't be shocked if Mariah showed up after this to challenge and maybe Sari too. I think Sari could appear because Rossi did say, hey, if you want to challenge for this belt, you should show up on a show. Your challenge might be little bit louder if you were at a show. So maybe Sari will appear on screen and challenge for the belt. Maybe Mirai will. Um, all I know is this could be an incredible match, and I think for Mercedes this should be an incredible one because I mean I'm not saying this from my point of view. I loved her 2 matches, but there's probably some people who are waiting for that one blowaway match of this Japan run, and this has the best chance of being that.
Yeah.
Because the Kyrie
Yeah,
match was
100%.
great, and the other match was great. We're talking like match of the year caliber here, and you're gonna have that match with Mayu Utani.
Man, this show's gonna fuck up my match guide really bad
Yeah.
because it's just gonna be like I'm just gonna be like, so I guess that like 7 of my match of the years are from one show, and that I don't like that, because like that like man, this is gonna be a good match. It's gonna be a good match. Like there's no way around it, right? Especially with the hot crowd. Yokohama is usually a pretty decent crowd. Inside of Yokohama Arena should be a decent crowd. It's a women's crowd, right? Like it's a crowd that wants to see women's wrestling, so it'll automatically be more hot for the women's wrestlers than necessarily Sakura Genesis was, and Sakura Genesis was a good crowd too. But I feel like it's a perfect storm, right, for this match to be incredible. So I hope so.
Definitely. And that is that match. I feel like I had something else I was gonna say about it, but it's completely gone. Oh yeah,
Is it Mercedes Julia?
no. Mercedes seems to be teasing the Hana gear. She's wearing it in the render, and she wore it when she attacked Mayu, and I just think it's
I
lovely.
don't think she's gonna wear the Hana gear.
I don't know, like it would be
I
lovely if
feel
she
like she
did.
likes new gear every time.
True, but I feel like she might understand the significance of wearing the Hana gear in her
Yeah.
Stardom debut. If it happens, I mean, I would be so happy for that. Because I think that would just be lovely to carry the Hana gear into the Yokohama Arena because really she should be here and a part of the show, you know? Um, the next match on the show then is the Wonder of Stardom Championship match. It is Saya Kamatani defending against Mina Shirakawa. So, all signs point to Mina winning, in my eyes.
How many sons?
She just got her own faction. She got her own faction about a week ago, and that is always Stardom's way of saying you're a top star. And
I go on.
there's no better way of capping off getting her own faction than by winning the white belt. Um, she's also been cutting promos saying she's going to win the white belt since the day she came back. And I don't know if you have her lose 2 in a row to Saya either. So, I don't know.
I will say I felt very vindicated when I saw people being like, Mina doesn't make sense, and it's
Okay,
making me
that was
less
a.
keen
I
on
don't
this.
understand that because I feel like a lot of that is coming from people who see the her stealing the microphone and introducing Club Venus as heelish. When we've been over this, the
No,
crowd likes that, and also
I see it as Club Venus is inherently the bad guys
why they're not though. Like the
because
crowd
they
is
are
into it.
assholes. Like that's the point. Like I mean, like Mina turned on Unagi, and like I was like, you know what, I'll get over that. Everybody got over that. But then you start realizing that it's like the people she hangs out with are just like it's the Mean Girls movie. It is they are out of Mean Girls. Like that is what it is. Like that's their characters.
Kind
So
of.
like it's like and the black blood. I know we said we wouldn't talk about it, but like everything feels like Mina is like maybe I'm just too American. I think that's probably it. 'Cause like think about it, in like growing up, if Mina was this character in WWE, people would fucking hate her.
But you and
'Cause
I
it's
have
like,
said
"You injured me. What about me? What about me?" Like that's what it is. Go on.
You and I have said Stardom's crowd doesn't do heels. So, of
No,
course,
they
they don't
don't.
see Club Venus as heels. They're just the vain, pretty girls. And to them, they're like, oh, that's cool. I like it.
And that's crazy. Like that's
This
I understand that's a
were
disconnect, and
essentially
it's
the
not like
same as
you
Cosmic
know
Angels. Like, Cosmic Angels was very similar at the start, and they were uber popular
Yeah,
too. So,
yeah, and what did I say about Cosmic Angels this entire fucking time?
yeah,
Hmm?
but
What did I
the
say?
crowd liked
What did
it.
I say?
So, I don't know. I think people were like, oh, Mina's, like, babyface thing is ruined. And I'm like, no, she's, like, the crowd loves
Oh, I
her.
don't think it's ruined. I don't think it's ruined. I just think that it's like I I personally am not buying into it.
Right, but you don't like her,
Like
so
I
that's
just
like makes sense.
yeah, I'm not crazy about her personally. Um I also think that like there is a lot I feel like Sai Kamatani really makes me upset. It really frustrates me because like I want her to lose the belt a few months like for like a while because like I love her. I think she's a great wrestler, but I was just like okay, it's time. But the Hazuki match and honestly, her side of the build to this match, fucking phenomenal. Like I love it. I love everything that she's been doing. and it really makes me upset because it's like I sound crazy for wanting V16, right? Nobody wants V16. Nobody wants a wrestler to get that far into a reign, like ever. Like that's just not, it's inherent that eventually you don't want the champion to be champion anymore. You want change. That's how wrestling works. Like that's how people build off of things. But her like dealing with the Mina stuff and then being like, you know, I'm not Tam. I'm not just gonna deal with you being a fucking weirdo. I'm going to spit and mist at you because I can be fucking weird too. How do you like it? And just shit like that. She just feels like she's operating on another level that she wasn't for a while. And even necessarily like character wise, another level than she was last year when she was the rest of the year. And I'm just like, man, why is Saya making me buy into her so much right now? And the Phoenix stuff, it just I want Saya to win.
Yeah.
Mina winning makes total
Mhm.
sense. But like I just like it just I feel so much I feel like this is Saya's story and Mina is the tragic heroine,
I mean, it could
right?
really be
Like
either one's story, and that's why it's so
yeah,
well done. Because yeah, Saya could hit the Phoenix Splash for the first time in months and retain, and that's her story done. And I don't think anyone would complain. I certainly wouldn't. Or
I wouldn't.
Ina wins and she gets retribution for her jaw being broken, and she gets the title, and that story finishes. Um, Part of me feels like Saya's thing with the Phoenix Splash will extend. I feel like she will try and hit it here and it'll cost her, and then she won't use it for a while until her
When
next
she
big
does the
win.
Muto.
The what?
I don't know if you saw the Muto, the fucking in his retirement match. He just like went up to the top and just sat there for a second and was like, I can't fucking do the moonsault anymore. And like that was like
She might.
the big heartbreak.
Hasn't she
You know,
like in kayfabe been like, "Oh, I climbed to the top rope and I
she's been
started crying."
crying when she,
Yeah.
yeah, she's been crying when she
So
climbs to the
I
top.
feel like the Phoenix will cost her, and we will see that kick down the line to her next big win when she, pulls it back out. Um, so I think there's
I just don't know how far away her next big win is though.
it depends because I feel like
It feels like it's gonna be
they're
in there.
really into her, so it could be in like 12 months time. No, I don't think that would be
Yeah,
insane. Um, I see that as a possibility though, where they do kick it down the line with the Phoenix. Prioritize Mina. Because I don't think you give her her own faction if she doesn't win this match. I just don't see the point.
I mean, yes, like that. You are right, right? Like especially when you look historically, that's how that works. Well, Hana got her own shit and then lost
But
to
she won
B,
the
which was
GP, which
crazy.
was her like, hey, she's arrived.
Which was yeah. It's crazy that they had her lose to B. I get that like they didn't want to put the belt on her yet, but that's just wild to me just to think about for a second.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, and Mina did not get a win. Like that's another thing is the Cinderella felt like it was Mina's for the taking. And that would have made it very easy to just be like, "Oh, well, Mina got her, coming out party as Cinderella, so this match is kind of back and forth." But instead, the Cinderella was given to Mirai, which makes it feel like, okay, Saya, is back to form with the Phoenix, wins here, loses to Mirai in a few weeks, right? That's a possibility. But I don't know. Like it is this is you said that the Mayu Mercedes match is the biggest toss up. This is the biggest toss up for me. I get that most signs point to Mina, but I feel like there's so much to the Saya Rain ending after Mina that I don't know for sure. This is a crazy card. That's all I have to say. This is a crazy card.
it is indeed. It is. It is just a peak of storytelling in Stardom because they've left so much up in the air. But yeah, I would go with Mina.
I pick Saya.
Okay,
He picks Mina.
that is fair. And then we're on to our main event, which is the World of Stardom Championship match. Julia defends against Tam Nakano.
Okay. I tweeted about this, but I deleted it because it was too harsh and mean. writing about this, like trying to research this, and like I read James's like long profile about both of them in Stardom and
Yeah.
whatnot. I've read old interviews. I've read the stuff from the press conference that just happened where she made her bleed. I've like thought about their past matches, their past segments. This is one of the worst built feuds I've ever seen. Like
I
long form, it
completely
just doesn't
think
work.
you're so
Like, I
wrong.
mean, it works.
I don't.
It works because because people like them. Yes. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. But I when you look at it for like longer than 15 seconds, you realize that they are still upset with each other from their bikini brawl 3 years ago. And nothing much more has developed. Like Tam is mad that she beat Julia and Julia was still cool. Uh Tam is mad that my Sakurai bailed. Like that is the tenets of this feud in terms of like actual like substance of why they're upset with each other, which I am not someone who thinks every match needs a story. Like I think that if you want to beat the other person, sometimes, most of the time, that's enough of a story for me. But the amount of bad blood, as I said in my article, gallons of it is so arguably unjustified because of how like they they just don't like each other, which is I mean, maybe I'm just looking for too much out of Tam lore. Uh and I expect, like, oh, so like is there a reason for this? And it's like, no, they just don't like each other. And that's okay. So I just wanted to say that like I researched this because this is the first time I've been excited for a Julia versus Tam match. And I realized why I wasn't excited is because it doesn't make sense.
I feel like I saw your tweet as well, and I just feel like you've never been more wrong to me. Like,
That's wild.
there's such a clear staging to everything between them. It started very simply with that tournament for the white belt because they both wanted the belt for very different reasons. Tam
Mhm.
wanted it because it was Arisa's, and Julia wanted it because she wanted to become Stardom. And tensions grew high from there. That's what this belt is for. And then Tam chasing that win was obviously, building it out and pushing it out. And when she did finally get her win over Julia, it almost didn't feel like a win. So after, Julia beats her in the GP final on her way to winning the world title, Tam's probably just like, well, I've never got my win over this girl. Like I've never, I beat her and it didn't even matter. So you can see why Tam is incredibly pissed off at Julia. I can see why Julia's incredibly pissed off at Tam because if somebody was coming at me with that kind of ferocity, I would smack the shit out of them too. So I don't know. I feel like it's a very natural just hatred that's brewed over time between them that is firmly climaxing here because the richest prize is on the line. Like this is has stewed on this win for 2 years now. Didn't feel like a win to her, and now she's just ready to snap. And Julia's in her violent era. She's fucking everybody up who comes for her. So I don't know. I just feel like it's two incredibly volatile people having a very volatile match.
I can see to some point because that was a very good explanation, and I think I can see that. I think the thing with Tam, and we've talked about this a million times before, is that everything feels like it has so much meaning because she wants it to have meaning. And then when I look at it and I realize, oh, the meaning is that you want to win. I'm like, why didn't you just say you want to win? Not necessarily in this, but you get what I'm trying to say, as in like the very visceral nature of everything Tam does. The very lore heavy, the Tam road that we talk about. It's not a bad thing, but sometimes it makes it feel like something that is very simple, a story that is very simple like this, where it's just Tam feeling like she never really got her due against Julia. It makes it feel like, oh, there's a lot to this, and I look for it and it's not there. So I concede. I'll admit I was wrong. I think your explanation was perfect and it makes sense. But I still feel like there's that level of just like you just want to win, and that makes sense. You've written so much about this and you've laxed so much about this. You've like it feels like you could write a book with how much Tam has tweeted about this, with how much Tam has lamented about this. And in reality, she just wants to beat Julia, and that is okay.
Yeah, I
It doesn't need to be much more than
I guess it's
that.
just because she really deep down wants to beat Julia. Like it's just there's something
It's
from
no, but
her
do you
soul.
hear what you just said? Like it's like yes, she just wants to beat her, but it's dire, and
There's
it's
a
like that.
level
Okay,
to it. Like I don't know if you've
there's levels, Dylan. There's
yes, there
levels.
is. I don't know if you're a sports person, but there's matches where you're just like, I need this win. Like if this doesn't go our way, I will never be okay with this. Like
I mean, yeah, I mean, like you know, White Sox versus Cubs. I have no reason to hate the Cubs, but I will always root against the Cubs.
yeah,
Like that's like it's a visceral thing.
it,
I get
there's
that,
there's so there's a certain element of that of like this is the one. Like I need to win this. Like this is different. This feels different.
but also your description makes it really fucked up that Tam isn't winning. Because that's just
Okay.
fucked. That's
The
just
problem
that's just
is the
that's just
problem for
fucked.
you is I think she wins down the line. I've changed my viewpoint on this Tam stuff.
Really?
The current arc with Tam feels like everything's falling apart so that she can win the red belt later down the line.
We can't. No, no, no. You're just no. This has to be it. This has to be it. I refuse. I strike what you just said from the record. I
Okay.
don't want to think about it.
Okay.
I never want to see another Julia Tam
Alright.
match unless this is literally the greatest wrestling match to ever happen,
Might be.
ever.
Uh,
And even then, they can't live up to it. So I don't want to see it after that again. No, stop, stop it.
okay. Um, well, I don't know, because that's what it feels like to me with how things are going for her. Because they didn't go all in last week on things falling apart. If they had gone all in on things falling apart, she'd be the favorite here because that would have been very interesting. But her like half losing her faction, Shiori Anu showing up and being very sketchy. Feels like the end goal is for Anu to kick her out of Cosmic Angels and then gets her redemption. Because
I
I
mean,
just feel like this is
I could see.
her thing. This is her downturn. She's going to go through
What
hell
about
and then win the belt.
what about Anu over Julia? Tam over Anu.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on how long they want to kick it out. But given their precedent, I assume they'll do it in December. So Tam GP and then
See,
it's
if
Julia.
if we were do Tam should just win. I don't want to think about this much.
I would have agreed, but I don't know if they would start her descent and then have her win the red belt. Like it just wouldn't make sense to me.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in like 5 minutes
Yeah.
because that was dumb, by the way.
Of course.
The
Yeah,
timing
I
of it.
didn't like that. But yeah, I don't know. I suspect Julia retains here. There's not a 0% chance Tam wins, but I feel like the recent trends indicate Tam will win it on the line rather than here. But no, I could see it going either way, like a lot of the matches here.
Do they bleed?
I think Tam bleeds hard way.
You think
Yeah,
so?
she seems like a fucked fucker, so she'd probably do it.
To be fair, now I'm looking at this picture of Tam and Julia. I'm pretty sure she bled hard way the first time because she is wearing heavy rings
Yeah,
and she
yeah, I
punched him.
don't really know. Because Velke broke it down for me picture by picture and was like, you can see the blade. Daichi was there. You can see him hand her the blade, and I was like, all right, cool. So yeah, I don't really know.
I mean, if so, that means that it's like a story beat, and I like that.
Yeah,
I like that they get that that is where they need to go for
it's,
this,
I feel
because
like
they
they
cannot
know
do
the level of
another
violence
Tam
people
Julia match.
expect of them. Like I haven't seen the preview tag, but I assume they went crazy on each other. So
Yeah, it was all
all right.
right, but I'm me,
So
so
I mean, I expect this to be their. I expect them to attempt to have the most violent match possible. I don't know if it'll work. If it's more Julia Yukihi, great. If it's a bit more Tam Natsupoi, not so great. And I
That's not just not so great. I will not show up next
yeah,
week.
yeah, very true. So I don't know. This one's very interesting to me because it could be an amazing violent spectacle, or it could be an overly dramatic. It makes me remember NXT Takeover Gargano Ciampa match crap, right? Those are two very different things. So this is the interesting one. That is the main event of this show. A crazy show, like absolutely absurd.
Insane.
I assume at this show we will learn where the day 1 and day 2 of the GP are, because they've started to advertise like the last show before the GP and stuff like that. So they'll probably
Yeah.
announce where day 1 and 2 are during this.
And how long it is probably,
Potentially, yeah.
or maybe. I don't know.
I suppose this is an interesting question, but where's next for after Yokohama Arena? Like they've done all the big venues. I feel like the only one left is the Dome, but I have no read on when they're gonna
It's
do that.
not. No, no.
They've done
How?
Ryogoku, they've done Budokan, they've done Yokohama Budokan. You know, they've hit up a lot of
I
the
mean,
regular, like historic venues.
damn, they did Osaka Joe Hall too.
Yeah,
I think they tried to do a bigger number in Osaka Joe Hall because that was mid-pandemic.
yeah.
They got like 1,000
I
people
think that's
there.
where they do Dream Queendom.
They like Dream Queendom in
Tumo.
Tokyo though, don't
Yeah,
they?
that's true. I don't know. It's just weird because they're obviously doing this like run of, hey, we're running this for in women's wrestling for the first time in like X amount of years, and the only one left is the Tokyo Dome. But like, I have no idea when they're gonna run
I
that.
mean, that's gonna be a while away though.
Oh,
Not even a while
did
away,
you have
but like,
predicted them
what
running?
didn't the guys say? Didn't they say 2024 that they wanted to
Yeah,
do the
I
Tokyo
remember
Dome?
that because we
Like
started the show and they
when
were like,
Bushiroad
oh,
first
we're
showed up,
gonna run the Tokyo Dome again. And we were like, are you sure about that? Um, they might.
which I'm still asking, are you sure
Yeah.
about that?
Well, I mean, would you have suspected they'd run the Yokohama Arena by now?
Uh,
It's a big venue. Like they're not gonna sell it out, but
Probably
they don't
not.
care. They're not. They're running it for optics, I guess.
They should run Kawasaki Stadium. Is that still up?
I don't know. Might be another one actually though to tick off. But yeah, that's just an interesting thought. Um, Before we close out, we're just going to take a look at what happened last weekend. We're not going to review the show match by match. It's we don't have much time left. So the first big news story is that Mariah won back-to-back Cinderella tournaments. She became the first person to do that since Miyu Utami, who won the first two iterations of this tournament. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Was that, or was it
2015,
Io won the
16.
first two?
It was the first. No, 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 no. It was the first two were Mayu,
Okay, and then Io.
and then Io won the third
Okay.
one. Yeah,
So that was pretty out of left field. I won't lie to you because just a month ago, Mariah was a warm body for
he was
Hashimoto to
fodder.
throw around the ring.
Yeah,
She had no real
and like
story going into it.
she lost to Suzu clean as hell
Yeah.
in that
I
tag.
know Scott had kind of been like, oh, the story is she loses the big ones. And I was like, yeah, I don't really know if that's a thing. Like, they don't play it up at all. But then she just won the Cinderella. I was like, oh,
Yeah, like the third biggest win you could possibly
yeah.
have is a Cinderella.
So I don't know. Like this was our point though. Like of the four people in the semifinals, stories weren't really there apart from Waka, and Waka didn't even make it to the final. So
Bro, and Waka said, "I give up my life to become an assistant to the whites." That's crazy. Like that was people thought she was gonna win the Cinderella, and then she's like, "Nah, I'm gonna be the assistant for crack." Can't say that. I'm gonna be the assistant for.
wow,
I buffered. I
that
buffered.
is
That was crazy.
absurd. That is crazy.
That was wild.
You are part white. Like you are also a cracker.
Yeah, but but
Cracker,
that's
you
that
know,
means I
like
could say
seasoned
it. Like that's
cracker,
the great
but
part.
you know.
I'm more of a saltine, you know.
Right.
I'm a burnt saltine. That's what
Okay.
I am.
All right. So yeah, Mariah going back to back. It's very weird. It kind of threw off our prediction as well that they'd be tag champions. She's probably gonna lose her title challenge as well. So
bro, she can't. Like, but at that point, we need to have a conversation. Like, if that, like, that's worse than Micah. I would argue winning 2 Cinderellas and still not holding a belt ever. That's worse than where Micah's at
Yeah.
right now.
She's in such a weird spot because it's like they're trying to push her, but there's just too many people in the way that they can't go all in. And I'm like, what are you
I
doing?
mean, they have that with like 7
But
people.
her specifically, because they keep,
Oh no, she's the
yeah,
prime of it. But I mean, you look at Natsuko, like she's becoming the fall girl for every single Cosmic Angels team.
yeah. She
You look
never
at
like
someone like Kid.
Mariah never fell
Kid
that
is just
far.
Kid. Yeah, that's true. But like Hazuki,
Like
she
with
isn't falling that
Mariah,
far either. But
it's
there are
like
a
they
lot
keep
of people.
teasing her on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like they keep going, oh, you're next, and then moving her back. Um,
it's very stop
she
start.
beat
It's not just like a natural
Yeah, because
fall.
she beat Mayu and Julia on the first 2 days of GP, and it was like, oh
She did do
shit,
that.
like that's something. And then she just became a non-factor.
GP wins barely matter.
Even still, like beating them on the first 2 days is pretty
Saya
huge.
Ida beat Hazuki.
Right, but the first 2 days are the big days, and
Yeah,
she went
no,
back
I
to
get
back in like the big matches. So like that felt like a big thing, and then she became a non-factor for months, and then
you. Yeah, non-factor.
she was a warm body to get thrown around by Hash, and then she wins the GP,
Yep.
and it's like, okay, sure. Um,
I really like, by the way, Mariah and Ami just being Sherry's sidekicks for all the
yeah,
shenanigans with Hashimoto. Like they just sit in the background like, hey,
yeah.
uh, or or them trying to shoot on a near Olympian. That's great.
Yeah,
Love that.
really.
Um,
Um,
no, yeah, I still think Mariah over Saya next month. I think that's where my mind goes for Cinderella final.
yes.
Cause like I don't know. And another part of the Mina thing winning the white belt is it feels like, okay, so we have Mina versus Tam. We have Mina versus Unagi if she ever shows back up.
He's not.
Uh Mina versus Himeka's not around anymore. Uh Mina versus Mirai.
Umina Momo.
Me yeah, that would be Momo losing again in a white belt match she said she never wanted to do again. Um it's harder to make a reign for
To
Mina
me,
work than it
Mirai
is for
does not
Mariah.
represent the white belt at all. That's not her belt.
She ain't winning the red belt anytime
She's
soon.
more of a red belt wrestler than a white belt one. Me. But I don't know. She's in a weird spot, and I don't know where they go with this. I don't hate her winning. It's another accolade in her kind of catalog, and
I called it
did.
vaguely.
They're eventually going to go all in on her, and this is kind of another sign that they're really into her. But definitely feels like they just punted the Cinderella and said, all right, let's give it to Mirai because they didn't have any other
Yeah.
more interesting options built up. Because
Looking back 10 years from now when we look back at it, this will be, oh, it's the other Mirai win.
yes,
Like
100%.
That'll be it.
Even the first one
Whereas like the
felt
Saya win was the
odd,
style win.
but yeah, like
Well, I mean, but
this wasn't
yeah,
a big movement for her at all, and I don't really know if it helps her, but if she wins a belt out of it, then so be it. But yeah, it's
we also we texted about it briefly. I know we are running
yeah,
long,
it's
so
all
I
right.
won't, but it's so wild that this is how the tournament like ended up, and Mirai just won,
Yeah,
right? Like she didn't win. She didn't beat anybody. She didn't make any
no,
moves. She beat Hanan, Ida, Xena, Ami, Mai. Like that's
job
nothing.
squad.
Like there is not a single notable victory out
No.
of those because she's either beaten them all before or they are all clearly
Mhm.
beneath her, right? Like she couldn't have beat a Momo. You know what I mean? Like even like my Sakurai beat Momo or something like that. Like that's the craziest part of this entire tournament is they built it so it's like people were making these brackets that it's like, oh, and that would work here and that would work here. That would put them over and then they'd win. And then it was just Mirai beating people that she's beaten before
Like at that point,
multiple
my
times.
Sakurai would have got more out of it. Like just give it to Mai. She would
Oh,
have done
100%.
something with it. Whereas I'm not sure Mirai will, or if or if they'll let her.
And like Yeah, I mean, it's not an issue of like, oh, I think Mariah shouldn't have won. It's an issue of if she was going to win, why wouldn't you lay it out
Yeah,
differently? Because this just doesn't
build up to
like
it.
that tournament was not. Yeah, that tournament did not put Mariah over. Mariah just beat some people that we have either seen her beat before or is a foreigner who just
Mhm.
got here. Like that's it.
It was incredibly weird, and I think her going back to back caps off just one of the worst done Cinderellas in a long time. Um, but
Probably ever.
yeah, I mean, probably ever. So hopefully they
At
fix it.
least the old ones were one
Hopefully they
day,
fix it
and you can't really fuck that
because
up.
this is an important tournament for them, and they cannot let it get this bad.
This was the fun
Yeah.
tournament. This was traditionally like the tournament that you have fun watching. That's just kind of like, oh, like who's next up, and it's like, oh, it's Mariah again. Cool. Like I love Mariah, but that's just it's a wild decision. It's a wild decision for sure.
The other bit of like big newsworthy stuff is that, as we touched on, Club Venus separated from Cosmic Angels. Waka Tsukiyama opted to join Club Venus, and Saori Anu joined Cosmic Angels. The first part is that Mina now has her own faction. This is something that when Club Venus was a thing, they don't do sub factions that last all that long in Stardom. Um, it felt like a necessary move
I
if
wish
they
they
were gonna
did.
push Mina to give her her own group and give Club Venus that like room to maneuver. So I don't mind it, and I see why they did it. I also like that it wasn't like a swerve heel turn. She just said, "Look, I'm done. I want to do my own thing." Timing is terrible because a week out
Yeah,
from Mina and Tam potentially winning the top two company, why?
y-
Tam could be
you're breaking up a little bit. Just
sorry.
so you know.
But it's like Tam could be world champion within a week. Why don't you want to be in her faction? Why don't you want to wrestle alongside the world champion?
Yeah, I and like the thing is that and this happens a lot in Stardom is that even when they don't do like the swerve heel turn that sucks, the way that they do like leaving a faction, it's like, oh yeah, so they're cool. And it's like, but they're not. Let's be real. Let's call a spade a spade. They are not cool. Like Mina is fucking over her friend. Like that is what is happening. You don't have to make it like a big deal, but that is what is happening. And that is another part of like the Mina babyface thing is that it's like yes, like, she can be a good guy and, like, leave the faction, but she is screwing her friends, 2 of which are the most popular wrestlers in the company, to hang out with the the foreigners and Waka. You know what I mean? And it's like that and that happening at the Cinderella was just not where I would have gone with
I
it.
know you're
I would have
breaking
either
up.
done it earlier or later. Oh, brother. I don't know what's going on. I think it might be Craig. I blame Craig. Um, I would have done that earlier or later, right? Like that's how I view the
Yeah.
turn is that it's like either do it like 2 months ago or do it a month and a half from now. Like do the Shuri Julia split where it's like, if Mina's champion and Tam is just like, I don't want there to be the champion that's not me in this group and we can't coexist, like we need to go separate ways. Something like that. That works. That makes more sense than Mina just going like, hey, by the way, I know this is a big week for both of us. I'm out. And it's like, that's crazy. Like, that's not how that
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, it's just very suspect because in January, Mina wasn't happy in in Cosmic Angels. Then she
Yeah.
never showed that again and was happily teaming with them and getting along. And then yeah, suddenly she's like, "Oh, I want out." The once and was
Yeah, and it's
dropped.
not even like it was like a brewing thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it wasn't like a
No,
undercurrent
not
thing.
at
It
all.
was just like
They did it once and dropped it.
yeah.
You can't do that. Like, I mean, I know they did, but you can't just do that. Um,
See, but this is what I mean by they are not good with, like,
of
continuing
course,
something
yeah. They've
long
always had
term to where
issues
it, like,
with
makes
that
sense.
stuff.
Is that it's like, oh, they'll do something once and then completely never talk about it again until it's the defining point of the main event of a major
Hmm.
show. You know what I mean? Like they just kind of throw it at the wall sometimes.
And then the Waka one, like, she just fought for 3 months to stay in Cosmic Angels. Like, that
And she tagged with
that was
Tam.
her.
Like if she tagged with
Yeah,
Mina. If she tagged with Mina, that would be one thing. That would make total sense. She has that kind of debt to Mina
Mhm.
sort of thing. Not even debt, but just like, but she won with Tam. Like
Her whole arc was I'm fighting to stay in this faction.
and Tam was the one who tried to kick her out. Well, not tried, but
So
like there is reason for there to be an issue between Tam and Waka, but they squashed it like a fucking bug 3 weeks ago. Like, like that's
now,
insane.
Mina was very outwardly supportive of Waka in that 3 months,
Yes.
so I can see why she would opt to go with her. She did at the very least
Yes.
make it seem like a very hard decision. Like she was in tears while she made it. She didn't make it right away. She seemed like she made it the spur of the moment. So Waka leaving, at least she as a character was very unsure about it. It still is just odd in the context of the last few months where she was fighting for her life to stay in that group, and just left. So split, I don't mind it. I don't, but the timing of it and the execution was left lacking, which we say a lot in Stardom, where the execution of these.
And I was gonna say, who would have thought a faction development was not
The
executed
execution of
correctly.
these things is not always great, even if they make sense. But
In fact, it's pretty
yes,
consistently
very
bad.
true. And then Sayori Anu slides in. Um, and this gives me the vibe that she is not only is she joining Stardom down the line, but she is kicking Tam the fuck out of this group. She seemed like she was joining for Natsuko's sake more than Tam.
Yes, but also there feels like an uncertainty between Natsuko and I don't know, like that.
Kind of. I don't see it. I feel it feels like they've squashed whatever they had. So it's kind of like Anu joined because like Poi was upset and she wanted to help Poi, and Tam was just the beneficiary. So Anu thing definitely feels strange in that I wouldn't have tied her to that group. She fits the group, but she seems like she's gonna lead a revolt against Tam eventually. Um, that was the feeling I
I
got.
think I think she should bring in Ozaki
Of
Gun
course.
and just run roughshod. Yeah.
One thing I see coming out of this, Tam had already said she was eyeing up the new rookies to get a new member, and I feel like Komomo Minami is definitely Cosmic Angels bound now because they are going to need somebody else.
Oh,
And
dude.
they might pick up now Ishikawa because she is very Cosmic Angels, and she was just talking with
Oh, yeah, we
Julia.
didn't get to talk about that.
She was
Yeah,
pictured with
about
Julia.
about Julia's hit piece.
Yes, I love Julia. Um, so yeah, I could see Cosmic Angels adding Chikawa and Minami once she debuts.
Ishikawa would be a good grab for them.
And yeah, I suspect something will happen eventually down the line with Anu and Tam because she does not feel like she's going to stick around. So that is
It was really funny in the post match where Anu was like, "Well, I'm here," and Tam's like, "I missed you, you know that?" And she's like, "Did you now?" And she's like, "Yeah, I told you that." And she's like, "Okay." Like that was like, "Okay, this is not long for this world."
yeah, it's I don't know. I wouldn't trust the Orianu with at all, but
It's an unholy alliance.
but
That is Cosmic
very much
Angels.
so. But yeah, that was the last weekend's stuff. We've gone for about 2 hours now, so I think we've talked enough.
Oh, Azumi successfully defended the high speed belt against Saki in less than 5 minutes, by
Definitely
the way.
great stuff.
Obviously.
So we'll be back next week to review the Yokohama Arena show in
One more thing.
oh,
One more thing.
oh,
One more thing. Maika pinned Natsuko with the Angel Killer, baby. Anu, it's your turn. It's your turn to
oh
die
my
to the
god.
Michinoku driver. Every Angel's got to do it. Every Angel's got to do it. I don't know if Tam's ever gotten beaten by it, but she should have. Every Angel's got to do it.
It's a
It's
rite of
time.
passage.
It's time.
All right. Yeah, we'll be back next week to review All Star Grand Queendom. We might do 2 episodes. I don't really know because sometimes we do if the show is like amazing and we have time. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll definitely be back though to kick off whatever the next cycle of Stardom is. We'll break down everything that's happened. We'll break down any news, any announcements, what's happening next, and we'll obviously preview what's happening the week after, which is the start of Golden Week. There's a big Cosmic
Oh boy.
Angels versus Club Venus match, so we're getting right into stuff. So strap in. Stardom does not stop. The world of Stardom never stops spinning. Uh,
Somebody asked me if we were going to do another Q&A sometime soon. I was like, no. There is May has like 14 shows in a 30-day month. Like
yeah,
that's
it's
insane.
they make it hard on us sometimes, but you know what? That's why
A
we
little
love
bit.
it. So, without
Yep.
further ado, it is time to close the show. If you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in. Ijo.
Yep.